Hi, this is Dr. Whiting, and continuing our series of informational videos on a subject that is so common and occurs so often in the general public that I really feel I can't do enough to talk about it. And that, of course, is Candida or human yeast. Today, we're going to talk about some of the frequently asked questions that we get from people who call our research center inquiring about further information. First of all, what is Candida? Candida is a natural organism, and it's found in every single human being. It resides in the gastrointestinal tract, or the gut lining of the human body. And while we're not completely certain as to its function, we know that it is universally present. And all things being equal, it doesn't seem to matter that it's there. However, when it gets out of the intestinal tract for a variety of potential reasons, then you develop a condition called systemic candida. And systemic candida, or candidiasis at that point, is a universal systemic infection of the candida molecule or organism throughout your body. And this can result in dozens and dozens of potential symptoms and side effects depending on each individual. What about medications? There are several medications such as diflucan, nizoral, ketoconazole, and so forth. For the most part, they only are effective in the gastrointestinal tract or in the digestive system. Once the candida leaves your digestive system and becomes systemic, virtually all of these drugs, excepting ketoconazole, are ineffective. The drugs that remain are so potentially dangerous that they can only be used for very short periods of time. Next, let's talk about diet. This is probably one of the most common questions that we get over and over dozens and dozens of times every week. What about diet and candida? What about the so-called yeast-free diet? What about the candida diet? Well, our research over 25 plus years has shown that diet neither causes systemic candida, and it certainly won't take it away. I have dealt with thousands and thousands of individuals who have faithfully adhered to the so-called candida or yeast diets for months or even years at a time, only to go off that diet for a vacation or a weekend away and have all of their symptoms return with a vengeance in a matter of a few days. Diet does not control this problem. Yes, avoiding certain foods will make you feel better physically, will reduce your symptoms. And I suppose that's the reason why people pursue these terrible, strict diets, simply because it does provide them some relief. But understand, in the long run, it will not solve your problem. Now, we often recommend reducing refined sugars and starches during our detoxification and cleansing program. It's not necessary, but we often recommend it, simply because it makes the individual feel better physically. However, we've tested our detoxification, our OxyFlush program, on people who ate a high sugar diet, candy bars and soft drinks, and the program still works. Diet does not have a direct influence on this problem. You need to accept that, as hard as it might be, in order for you to find a proper road to getting rid of this issue. Okay, what about natural remedies? Well, there are lots of them out there. Garlic, herbal extracts, immune stimulants, and they all play a portion of the process of improving and restoring your health. However, none of these will directly eliminate your yeast problem once it has become systemic. What about probiotics? There are a lot of probiotic companies who are touting their super ultra high potency formulas for the control of candida. Yes, if the candida is still localized, perhaps vaginally, certainly in the gastrointestinal tract, those high potency acidophilus probiotic products are very effective. But once your problem becomes systemic, all the probiotics on the face of the earth will not take your problem away because the probiotics cannot get to the location where the yeast is growing. Common sites for this include the sinuses, the lungs, the bronchioles, and even the brain. Why don't we see more physicians addressing this problem? I just got a question about this earlier today. Doctors acknowledge localized yeast infections, but because they don't have an effective test for systemic Candida, it's hard for them, in following the standard medical model, to acknowledge the presence of this problem. However, more and more natural physicians, osteopaths, and even mainstream medical doctors are taking a second and third look at this problem because it is becoming so epidemic. And we need to realize that right now, there's only one natural way to eliminate systemic Candida once it enters your bloodstream. And that is with oral buffered oxygen. You see, the Candida organism is anaerobic, and as such, it does not thrive well when the tissues are supersaturated with oxygen. We have been using a detoxification program here at the Institute of Nutritional Science for quite some time, for 20 plus years now, very effectively for the elimination of systemic Candida regardless of where the organism has taken up residence. If you feel that you have systemic Candida, I urge you to continue to investigate the alternative treatments, especially liquid oral oxygen. View my other videos on this channel discussing Candida in greater depth. If you have specific questions or concerns, take our Candida evaluation test on our website, which is www.healthyinformation.com. You can call our offices toll-free at 888-454-8464. And if you'd like to use an email, you can email directly to my desk at askthedoc, ASKTHEDOC, at healthyinformation.com. We are the pioneers and the leaders on the World Web for the management and elimination of systemic candidiasis. If you've suffered for months or even years and feel that you've exhausted every possibility, I guarantee you there's still hope. I guarantee you there is an effective and direct way. It isn't an overnight cure, but you didn't get this problem overnight, and you may not get rid of it overnight. But give us a few weeks, and we can begin to make your life a whole lot more pleasant. I'm Dr. Whiting, and I hope this information has been of benefit in your search for better health.